Namaste and good morning, my friends. This is Khenpo Gurudas Śunyatananda, and this is another episode of our weekly Dharma Talks. This past week we saw the story of the actress Amy Adams, who offered her first-class seat apparently on a plane to a returning war veteran as a gesture of simple gratitude. And I was really surprised and disappointed by the number of folks whose response to that story was less than positive. You see, from their perspective, it wasn't enough. She should have done more or said more, or I don't know. From their perspective, it just wasn't enough. But my question for them and for each one of you who might have been unimpressed by her gesture is, what have you done to show your gratitude for those who served you and your country on a daily basis? I would suggest that any genuine gesture of gratitude is always enough. And it's none of our fucking business to judge somebody else's gesture of gratitude, no matter how small. Because we're conditioned to imagine this world as one in which there's opposing extremes, good and evil, right and wrong, black and white, Eastern and Western. We can't begin to comprehend a spirituality that's dualist, that's non-dualistic in its approach and its fundamental philosophy. And as a result of that, we begin to judge others without the slightest awareness or understanding of their own motivations, journeys, or stories. Now, maybe those folks who were so judgmental of Amy Adams, maybe they were going through pain this week. I don't know, because I can't judge why they would make such absurd and seemingly harsh statements. When I asked folks to consider doing what they could to help a young woman that many of them actually know from her formerly active role with our classes and our discussions and her involvement on Facebook, whose teen daughter is now being treated at St. Jude's for a life-threatening congenital disease, and who lost her job after 17 years or something like that with the same company, it was very telling that none of those who criticized Amy Adams showed any compassion whatsoever to donate even $10 to help provide this single mother and her 3 children with groceries for the week. And the 2 people who did respond, they never met her. They didn't hesitate for a moment to respond with openness and compassion that inspires me on a daily basis. You see, in his remarkable reflections on the interior life, Henri Nouwen wrote that life without a quiet center easily becomes destructive, or something along those lines. Regardless of whether our perspective includes theistic notions or non-theistic notions, a balanced sense of healthy spirituality, one based on reasoning, not superstition, compassion, not dogma, is something which can make life easier and something which should compel us to do what we can to alleviate the suffering of others, not to spend our time or waste our time judging the motivations or actions of anyone else out there. So I encourage you to take time this week to cultivate a quiet center. Stop worrying about whether anyone else got it right and clean up the fucking mess in your own backyards. My root guru, Majaya, would teach us to throw out anyone from your heart is to live in a great amount of fear. Let your heart be open wide in order for the mother to fill it up at all times, Ma would teach us. My friends, building walls around our hearts does more to shield us from the potential for sadness. Those same walls keep out the potential for joy and the potential for discovery. They deprive us of the opportunity to serve as we've been served. So make it a great week. Open your hearts, open your minds, and allow yourself to come back to that still center. I wish you a wonderful week filled with goodness, filled with every abundance and every blessing. I hope that you'll take time to do what you can to alleviate the suffering of others wherever you happen to encounter it. I wish you well, and I wish you to remember that the best is yet to come. Namaste.